Welcome to a special edition of Salvation Army Today, where we are at the historic Sunbury Court in London, England. And as you know, this is where the High Council has met since 1929 to elect the General of the Salvation Army. Let's find out more of what happens here at Sunbury Court.
Everyone has heard of Sunbury Court. That is, everyone who has a connection with the Salvation Army. But we're just thrilled today that we're with Major Graham Buckle, who is the Business Services Officer here at Sunbury Court, principally for the International College for Officers, but there are also lots of other things attached. We'll get to that in a minute, Major, if we can. Just give us a little potted history of this beautiful mansion.
Sunbury Place, as it was originally called, was built in 1723. And it was a much bigger house than it is now, and the centre core is still of that era. The two sides are Victorian. In its heyday, it had big parties here, and then it became dilapidated early in the 1900s, and the Salvation Army bought it very cheaply. It's recorded that if we hadn't purchased it, the building would no longer exist. And in 1925, General Bramwell decided to buy this to become the International Staff Institute for the Salvation Army. It's been used in many ways for the Army, for the High Councils, for groups, for young people, older people, conferences, and it still is, as well as being the ICO.
Tell us what it would have been used for originally, and then perhaps for the High Council, which I understand that they actually met in this room.
Yeah. I believe, in my looking at the building over the years, this would have been the ballroom. Colonel William Harfield, the last private owner, added this end of the building on and made the coach entrance the front door, and the High Council have met in this originally for 1929 when matters came to a head and Bramwell was deposed, but for most High Councils ever since, they met in this room up to 1999. And I believe it was through that door over there that the commissioners went to elect the generals over the years. Well, it was originally called the music room. The mirrors actually are Victorian, put in by Colonel Harfield. That's when they got rid of the oval.
Can we make a claim here that Colonel Harfield is not a Salvation Army colonel?
Yes, oh, so, yes.
He's a military colonel.
Yes.
Got you.
Whose head office was in Queen Victoria Street.
Well, there you go.
Funnily enough.
There you go. Interesting.
But over the years, many precious decisions for Christ have been made in this particular room, and dedications to him in this room, which is amazing. And then we don't call it the music room anymore. For some reason, we call it the chandelier room. I'm not sure why. And we have this chandelier here, 3,000 pieces of high quality crystal, according to the people who stored it first during the refurbishment. They have not seen one like it in many, many years.
So this is the actual room where the General is elected. Wow. Tell us about that.
Well, the High Council meets usually every 5 years, and they are based in here since 1999 when General Gowans was elected. And it also is the conference centre. It's a conference room for the ICO and all other conferences that come here, Salvation Army conferences, outside organisations, and use this place and have their conferences here.
With the High Council, just for my sake and those watching, who qualifies to be on the High Council?
I don't.
Right.
It's all active commissioners and territorial leaders with the rank of colonel. There's quite defined, you have to read the Salvation Army Act if you want to know exact details, or John Larson's book about inside the High Council also details what happens at the High Council. They meet in here, they worship in here, they discuss in here, and then ultimately they move through the doors at the back that we just come through to areas on the right and the left where they make their votes. And then when a general is elected, announced before the body in this room. To keep the moment private to the High Council, there are blinds on all the windows that come down, so the private moments happen in here with the general-elect and his or her peers who welcome the general-elect and offer their loyalty to that person as general. And then the announcement is made just outside the entrance door to the world.
Major, this has been really, really great, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share with our viewers what actually happens at Sunbury Court and the significance that in Salvation Army history.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Many people want to visit us, and because quite often we're a retreat centre with the ICO and Brengle, we are a conference centre, and we just cannot allow the public in all the time. But I'm glad that we've been able to share this with our Army world. It's a great place.
It certainly is. Thank you again.
No problem.
So I want to say thank you to all of those hundreds of people, people whose names you'll never know, but who have given of their time and their treasure and their talent to be here, and all of those who participated in the sessions, who planned the sessions, who just worked out all kinds of behind-the-scenes details, getting thousands of people here into London. Without your help, this would not be possible. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
The last 2 years have been incredible as I've had the joy of writing and hosting Salvation Army Today. In just a few short weeks, my family and I will move to the Evangeline Booth College to be trained as Salvation Army officers. Before we close this episode, we end with a psalm. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever. For Salvation Army Today, I'm Chris Raymer. God bless.